Disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Yeah, you already know what time it is, everybody. Welcome to the relaunch of Breaking the Barriers, baby. Episode number 1. We're talking about race and racism and all the isms, really just the ism of race. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's going to be great. Welcome to Breaking the Barriers, where we discuss the tough topics by attacking the issues and not each other. All right. I got a wide variety of people over here, as you can see, which I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, some of which need no introduction, some of which you're going to want to know. All right. So I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be a good show. Let's kick this thing off. Who are you people?
Man, who goes first?
Let's just go, down the road.
Let's go. I mean, everybody knows me.
Mm-hmm.
Some people remember me. I actually started on Breaking Barriers and then branched off to do my own thing. But if you're new here, I'm Suni Blanks. And I run a kind of apolitical podcast where I examine both sides and call out the hypocrisies with everyone.
Facts.
That's what's up. So if it goes in line the way I think it's going in line, the way I can see it,
you got it.
that will be me. So my name is Jessica. I am the Northeast Regional Director of Blexit. I am an advocate for school choice, an advocate for the real my body, my choice against the vaccine. I am an advocate for unborn lives. So that's a lot of the things that I've done. And I don't really be on podcasts, but Cash asked me, so here I am.
Oh, she is now. She's going to be a regular person on this show right here. All right, Let's go next. Josh, tell them who you are, man.
Hi, I'm Josh Joseph. I became politically active COVID, like a lot of people did. And I'd say politically now, I'm an anarchist. I don't like the state. I don't like the government. And that's pretty much it. I work with Jess Marie, helping her with Blexit and, of course, the medical freedom stuff that happened during COVID.
Look at that. Breaking barriers right there just with that statement alone. That's amazing. Justin, tell them who you are, man.
My name's Justin. I grew up with this guy, known him for years. Great guy. I've been really educating myself a lot the past probably about 8 or 9 years about a lot of things that's been going on, and we've agreed upon a lot of things, and we'll get into that more.
All right. Go ahead, brother. You got this. Do your thing, brother.
What's up, y'all? My name is Liddell Buggs. I'm in real estate development and private equity finance. I have run for public office one time. I love talking about finance, business models, how to empower individuals to get out of becoming a victim, but to be a victor through the vehicle of finance.
I love it. Can you turn your mic up just a little bit, Liddell?
Yeah, I got you. Wait a minute. Can you hear me well at all? No.
I can hear you, but it was kind of low. Am I the only one that thinks that?
Is that better?
It's a little better.
I don't know what's going on.
It's a little better. I like it.
Okay.
All right. My man that's not showing his face except through the picture. There he is. Go ahead, bro. Tell them who you are. What you about?
Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Deontay Blade Ford. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'd like to think that I'm a man with a mind after God, but that's to be seen. We're all we're all works in the process, right? But other than that, I'm an American that's interested in politics. In the words of Plato, the price of apathy to public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. So I think it's the responsibility of all Americans to be informed about the way their government operates and to do their civic duty and contribute to the betterment of their society. But that's all I got to say.
I love it. I love it. So we got a full panel here almost. If we had 2 more people, it'd be every square filled up. You know, maybe we'll get to that next time. Who knows? But this is a phenomenal panel that we got right here. So I'm just going to jump right on into it, right? Today we're talking about racism. Now, I got a video. I don't know where he went. He just disappeared. But I got a video that I'm about to show right now. Now, what I want to happen with this video, everybody that's watching right now, first, before we jump into it, I need everybody, if you could, please like this video right now and share this video out wherever you are watching from. That's my first request of you, because we're trying to beat the algorithm, and I really love this show, and I feel like it's going to be very educational. So I'm about to show a video. The video may be hard to watch for some people. Some people get triggered by this kind of thing, but I want us to discuss the video. I'm not going to say how I want us to discuss it, because this is breaking the barriers. So I'm going to play the video, and whatever you all think about the video, I want you to remember. And then we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about race. First, before I do it, I got a question. Suni, are you racist?
No.
Just, are you racist?
Nah.
Josh, you racist?
Nope.
Justin? Are you racist?
Really? No.
I got to ask for the audience. Liddell, are you racist?
No.
No, not at all.
All right. Deontay, you racist?
I feel like I got to be the devil's advocate and just say yes for the purpose of entertainment.
I knew it.
Damn.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
but no. Seriously, no, I'm not racist.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna play this video,
That was
everybody.
just
If you
for some
could,
spice.
that was just
if
for
you
some
could,
spice.
mute your mics real quick. All right. I'm gonna play this video, and y'all watch this video and let me know what you think. And this for educational purposes only.
Where's your parents? Hey, are they allowed to let these little make threats? Making threats. Can you arrest them? Please arrest them.
They have to.
Hey, you're not making threats.
They'll call me even for town. Everybody.
Future engineers. Future engineers. Hey, you guys are the future engineers.
No,
Future engineers have to get escorted because they're so violent. Yeah. You got a light brain, bud.
God, I love little
monkeys
monkeys like that. It just shows how violent they are at a young age.
Your frontal lobe is 2 ounces lighter, bud.
So we got AJ here. AJ, introduce yourself for everybody that you just got here. So introduce yourself.
Appreciate it. I'm AJ, host of AJ's Rent Room and Trifecta Hour. How's everybody doing?
Fantastic. If y'all ain't following him, you need to be. Matter of fact, everybody follow everybody on here, because this is a fantastic panel. So you all just watched that video. Did you hear the context of the conversation?
Sure did.
Sure enough.
Okay. So I want to ask, what did AJ? You seen it? What did it make you think? What did you think off? You just watching that video right now. First thing that you think of, what is it?
Well, I came in on they're violent and their frontal lobe is lighter. But so I don't know who the group was or what they were talking about, but they need to ask it, in my opinion, just based on that 2 seconds I saw. But
That group, that group is called WAR. They're called WAR. The
WAR?
acronym. Yeah, WAR.
Okay.
Whites Against Replacement. That's the name of them. Whites Against Replacement. WAR.
What we replacing? What they replacing? What we replacing?
Right.
That's just the name of their group. You can make of it what you will. But I want to go over to Liddell real quick. Liddell, what did you think about when you seen that?
A lot of confusion, a lot of lack of wisdom, a lot of ignorance on both sides, to be honest with you. Those little kids shouldn't have did what they did, and it didn't matter what the little kids did. You don't call these kids out their names like that. That's a lot of ignorance in the whole thing.
Okay. All right. Sunni, what did you
Man, I
think?
don't know. Like, I usually don't get like emotionally reactionary to stuff like that, but it makes you want to get like ignorant. That was crazy. Just to know, because we exist on social media, right? And people have no problem throwing that word around. I get called that often, but to see people do it in person in real life, it kind of makes you wonder, like, what's the temperature of this country right now? That's the first thing that came to my mind, is where are we as a country for this to be going on? It's 2024.
Facts. Okay. Jess, how you feel about
I'm
that?
my first thoughts was these are grown people and these are kids. Like you could it doesn't really matter what them kids are saying. You could really just ignore them. You're a grown ass man. Like you should be really just ignoring what these kids are saying. They're children. Yes, the children maybe could have been raised better, but at the end of the day, you're still grown people needing to control yourself. Especially as
Okay.
someone who is out there in these streets protesting or whatever and hearing the way that people talk to us out in these streets. No, control yourself. You're grown.
Justin, what'd you think, man?
Well, to be honest, the climate in this country is just out of control, for one. Number two is what she said, like as far as like them being adults, I didn't really see that. I seen all I seen was a bunch of children. You know what I mean? Like they were laughing at the kids. You know what I'm saying? They were acting childish as well. A lot of things they said were, very, very disrespectful. Yeah, like Dude said, they need to ask what.
Josh.
Yeah, I think uh, whites against replacement are a bunch of dinosaurs. I think more groups, if they think like that, should be out in public, um, outing themselves for one. And two, we have freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, right? We say that as Americans. So let them come out. The sunlight, is the best disinfectant. So, I hate it.
Deontay.
Well, first off, let me start off by saying that it was racist rhetoric, just plain and simple. Uh, it brings many thoughts to mind, right? The first thing that I think about is how dangerous and inevitably violent identity politics is. Identity politics is inherently violent because it creates sort of a superiority complex, right? One race is always pitting itself against another race. It's this dialectical conflict between races, and uh, I'm not diminishing or what's up? You about to go? All right, love you. I'll come say about in a minute. I'm not trying to make excuses for the racist rhetoric at all, but I think that the identity politics being played on the left side of the political spectrum, specifically with this favor being shown to people of our racial demographic, is making white people go on the defense. Some white people. Now, the individuals that were talking whites against replacement or whatever the case may be, this is like an offshoot or a derivative of some type of KKK to me, right? It's just like the continuation of an ideology that has branched out and developed different.
Yeah.
Lastly, I'll say this. I think that, and I like the brother's analogy of sun being the greatest disinfectant. I think that the left relies on individuals like this to misrepresent the right? To misrepresent libertarians, to misrepresent anarchists, to misrepresent people that are actually well informed in political ideology and they understand what conservatism is or what libertarian conservatism is or right wing national populism is. And they'll go to these extreme fringe racists to say, look, this is right wingers. And these are not right wingers. These are just racist people that are likely not really politically astute and that are just uttering garbage.
Okay, interesting. So listening to everybody's individual response, I'm gonna give my response, but I want you all to realize, like, I want you to look at each other's responses. You see how everybody went to similar places and different places. That right there caused a political thought in Deontay. AJ, you had another thought. Justin had a different thought. Suni, you had a different thought. Everybody had different thoughts, right? Here's my thought. So what I noticed, number one, these men, if you want to call them that, was out there in shirts promoting racial division, right? Promoting some type of racism. The kids are out there. I don't know if you all are familiar in the streets. You got the little drummers that be out there, doing their thing. That's what them kids was doing. And instantly these guys are antagonizing these kids, talking crap to the kids because they're standing in the street and they're doing the little drummer thing, probably panhandling, because that's what it's done for, is to get some money, right? But what I noticed is the police come walking up. Now, mind you, these are children, these are adults. These children go push this way. The police escort the kids past these ignorant men, and the men are talking to the police, and they're like, "Can you arrest these nigglets?" and saying all this stuff, talking crazy to these kids. We all seen this video, but the kids, even though they cuss back at them, they're probably angry, don't know how to take it. They can't do nothing. These are a whole bunch of big white dudes, and the police have them move. But how does that look in the mind of a child? And we talk about the problems of racism in the black community and how black people view white people, right? And you see the police escort the kids, not in a bad way. They did the right thing, because they also have to honor their freedom of speech, because they're not hurting anybody. It's freedom of speech to stand out there and say what you want to say. But in the mind of a child that doesn't understand any of the things that we're talking about, all they see was these racist white dudes came and said this to me. And on the news, they say that cops are bad and the cops make us leave, and nobody corrected these racist white guys that are saying what they said to me. So now my next question, does that cause something in the minds of these kids moving forward to have something against white people and police?
I mean,
Absolutely.
will it? Yes. Should it? No. I think it's incumbent upon us as like a parents and adults to help them understand there's going to be people that exist in this world like that. And like you said, they're going to utilize their freedom of speech. So the best option for you is honestly ignore it. I mean, what can we actually do besides equip our kids with tools of emotional discipline and emotional intelligence enough to not respond?
Okay, good. That's good. I respect that.
I think that, right, totally agree with Suni. This goes back to the identity politics thing, right? And people conveniently making people monolithic when they are not. No one racial demographic has one singular ideology or view. So just because those white people communicate like that does not mean that I should take that and say this is now representative of everyone
Right.
so-called white, right? Because and if you do that, not only are you irresponsible, but I think that you're seeking confirmation bias. Because let's keep it a buck, right? I won't speak for any other black people here, right? And I'm mixed, right? This is new for me too, by the way.
Shout out to my African brother. I'm right there with you, baby.
I used to identify as black because I was inundated with the ideology of blackness, and it was almost inappropriate for me to represent both sides of my heritage. So now I am choosing to actively and proudly represent both sides of my heritage as a grown adult. But Farrakhan, prime example, renowned, revered, and loved in the black community by many, right? Farrakhan is on camera saying white people are the devil, right? So let's not act like this rhetoric is not being instilled in the minds of young black children at home. Does that mean all young black children are being instilled with these ideas? No. But if you are told that white people are the devil, right? And then you go out and you express these ideas in public, you have to be irrational to think that white people are not going to eventually respond with hostility. And I'm talking
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Now I see what you're saying, and this is why I'm loving this show already, because it's taking us places. And Deontay, I understand everything that you're saying, right? But what's happening is we're not looking at this in particular situation with children. We're talking about grown people that should ignore and should understand better. These are children that are still forming and developing their opinions of the world.
True. And that's where it's the responsibility of a parent, right? Who one shouldn't have had them out there in the first place. I don't know about y'all. I have children. My two young children
kids
will never be in the vicinity of adults unless they're at school without my presence, right? Where I'm relinquishing my children to other people that have legal responsibility to follow the law and take care of my children appropriately. But just to have your children outside at some parade or event is nonsensical. It's irresponsible. But if my kid does encounter a situation like that, that's when I pull them to the side and I say, hey, son, hey, daughter, these are racists.
Now, before we go down it, because you're right. Again, you're right, bro. You're right. Now, what if I mean, let's just be real. Let's be real. 9 times out of 10, the kids are coming from a household where the parents aren't too active. If I say that, is that fair, or am I stereotyping?
Well, I think you're guilty of stereotyping, but I think that there's some credibility to stereotypes to an extent. So I'm not saying that your assumption is incorrect. I'm just saying that it's an assumption.
Okay, so let's get another opinion. What do y'all think? Anybody else? Jump in.
So I think kind of what he said. First of all, my kids, I have 4 kids, and they definitely don't be roaming the streets like that. So we're gonna start there. But if they was in a situation where something like that happened, um, that's a conversation that you need to have with them. Also, I do think that the police could have took that moment and been, a little bit more, um, you know, human in that moment instead of doing their job. They could have been like, we're just removing you guys because this is an unsafe situation, something like that. I think that is a responsibility of theirs to do. Kids look up to you, and instead of like making them think that you are just removing them or making them feel some kind of way, that's a conversation that could have been had between. I mean, these are kids. It's different. It's not like you're removing some adults from the situation. Then it's like, yeah, okay, shove them out the way. But kids need to understand what you're doing, and they could have took that second and said, we're removing you for your safety. These people, you don't need to be engaging with them, like something like that. They could have humanized themselves in that moment.
Okay. And if I could just say one quick thing to that,
real quick,
I think that situation, and I didn't see the race of the officers. You'd have to play the clip again, but I think that situation, and maybe I have an expectation of white people that I shouldn't, but I think that situation presents an opportunity for white people who do not harbor those views, right?
Absolutely.
To say, hey, young black children, hey, young man, young woman, I just want you to know, right? I know you see a white person saying this. This is not
they're ignorant, right? Right.
Yeah.
So that was going to be my next thing that I say is, so shouldn't, if it was me and I was a police officer and you're in a fucked up position at this point, because you got to respect these people's freedom of speech, right? And you got these kids that you got to clear off the street because they're not supposed to be there. And you hear these people telling them that they're racial slurs and saying that their brain weighs less than theirs because they're black, their prefrontal lobe. So when you think about it, right, these people, now I heard what you said earlier, Deontay, when you said that maybe some of these white people, I forget how you said it, but basically like the white people are forced to believe this type of way about, or we're pushing them to believe this type of way about us or something like that, something along them lines. And obviously it's not from that point of view, from that guy that said about the brain weighing. He wasn't pushed to believe this. This is things that he is studying, because that is something that is outdated, that has been debunked. It was racist rhetoric that came through back in the day.
Yeah, it's eugenicism.
Yeah. So with him, it wasn't that black people pushed him to think this way. He wants to think this way because of the things that he is studying. And this group in particular, I would think that. Now, for the police, I would have been down and been like, yo, those guys are ignorant. Sorry, we got to make you move, but you can't be out there. It's against the law. But these guys, they're ignorant, and don't worry about them. You guys just go and have
it's not safe. Right.
It's not safe. Right. So, but Cash, it's no different than when white people are walking down the street and Hebrew Israelites are saying you're the devil the Bible speaks of.
Oh, you're definitely right. We was going to cover that a whole another day. You're already on track for what I'm going to be doing, bro. That's exactly it. So today we talking about this one. Believe me, we're going to hit all topics on this show. We're going to hit them all. Suni, weigh in. What do you think?
I don't know. I think we're looking at a video and we're saying what police could have done right. But what if police did do that? And what if that's not enough? Because 3 police officers on that street cannot combat what's on the internet 24/7. There's a lot of disgusting things about, each race. Specifically, we're talking about Black people right now. There's a lot of things that contribute to, like Deontay said, these people running around and feeling super emboldened to go out there and say that. Like, it's a lot of stuff. So could those officers have done more? I think they could have. Maybe they did when the camera turned off. Maybe they did take them to the side and say, you know what?
You're right.
Don't let that be a representation for all of us. Like you guys said, these people are ignorant. But is that my thought is, I don't think that's enough. I think we have to attack it I think we should participate in propaganda at the end of the day. I don't think we utilize it enough.
I hear that. Liddell, what you think?
Well, I always lean toward wisdom. And so for me, in order to gain understanding. And what I saw in that video is a lot of lack of understanding there. And so this is for on the white side and also the child side. Now, the adults in the room are assumed to understand what is right, but time is not the best teacher at all.
I like
and
that.
So we that video proves that, because you have an older people acting like the little kids as well. So you kind of have the same type of age structure, kids talking to kids. The adults who kind of in the room were probably the police officers trying to separate everything. We don't have the entire context there.
Right.
But I would just say, man, and you asked the question concerning the kids. Will the kids learn something from this? Potentially. It depends on the training at the house. Now, we're seeing some fruit from what they were doing. The training at the house doesn't seem to be going well. So it's kind of safe to conclude potentially that there's not a lot of wisdom being shared at the house. So there's probably a likelihood of this may cultivate a certain type of thinking toward a certain race. I agree when it comes to Deontay that says that one side of the aisle, the left, seems to propagate this type of exchange to spew a lot of propaganda as well also.
Yep.
So it's just, man, it's hard. I hate to see that. But it's just, man, there's no wisdom in that whole exchange there. And the wise people in the room right now seems to be the police officers.
I heard that. I agree. Justin, man, weigh in. What you think?
I mean, I think the police could have did a better job. I don't think they really should have had to follow the children. I think they should have did more with the crowd. The so-called adults, they could have kept them in line. Especially like the rhetoric towards the children, like that's uncalled for. They were kids. Whatever they were doing, that's what they were doing. They're kids. That's what kids do. Let kids be kids. At the same time, I got 4 kids. I understand, what kids do, you know what I mean? And whatever they was out there doing wasn't half as bad as what we were doing when we were kids. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like,
can I ask a question?
Let the kids be the kids, and the cops should have handled the crowd. That's all I'm gonna say.
I have a question. It's like I'm going to say something, but I want to ask a question.
Okay.
What if those guys had legal permits to be there, regardless of whether we like what they're saying, and those children have no legal recourse to be there? In fact, you're not supposed to be doing that on the side of the street. It's considered loitering in some places, right? Some places cops will let you get away with it. You ain't causing no harm. But if they had a right to be there and those kids didn't have a right to be there, can't we walk and chew gum at the same time? which is
but
go
at
ahead. I'm
the
sorry.
same time, the way I feel, what they were wearing and how they were approaching themselves, they shouldn't have had no right to be there. That's all I have to say. Like they
Interesting
shouldn't have had
opinion.
no right to be there.
I think that comes down to a First Amendment, situation. So
And
kind of
that's
what
I
where we
Spoon
mean,
get
said is that, yeah, is that it's, in most
exactly,
places you
but a
don't need
lot
a
of
permit
things
to be
like
nowhere. But I think what the police needed to do in that situation was, and again, from someone who comes from a protesting realm, you're gonna come up with some people who you're not gonna necessarily agree with, and it happens a lot. So what they have
yeah,
to do is they have to separate you. But I feel like they could have humanized themselves in that moment and realized they're kids. What you say to a child in any moment may stick with them forever. So they could have just been like, you have every right to be here, but we're removing you because it's for your safety, something like that. They don't have to go in to say these people are bad because that's their right to wear whatever they want, to say whatever they want, as long as you're not physically harming somebody. That is the beauty of America, is we don't have to like what everybody says, but we have that freedom of speech. As long as you don't get crazy, you got it.
But
okay.
I would say, with every freedom that you have, there has to be wisdom that you're actually standing upon. You can
You would think that
unwisely.
people had that common sense to make it a
I'm not
wisdom.
saying I'm not saying that they don't they do, because the video proves that we see that, and so I hear us saying, well, the cops could do a little bit more. Potentially they could, but I think that they did the wisest thing. Hey, let's go ahead and remove the kids
Yeah,
out of the
de-escalation.
situation
I agree.
because of the
Yeah.
fact that these are adults and these are
Yeah.
kids, and
I
so now
agree.
Right.
it could be interpreted. Why they mess with the black kids for? They're kids.
So let
Get
me
the
ask you
kids
this.
out of there.
Do you think, do y'all, well, I'm going to let AJ and Josh weigh in as well because they haven't had a chance to weigh in on this, but do you see how racism stays perpetuated through acts like this? So it's where one of them things where we have freedom of speech, right? And freedom of speech is a good thing. And you have the right to peaceably assemble. But then when you use it for wrong, do you see how something bad can come from it and how racism keeps getting propagated because of these types of groups? AJ.
There's always going to be boneheads on the ride. That's it, period. Like, we can't control how people receive us, whether they like us, whether they don't like us, for whatever attributes we have no control over. That's beyond me. I don't care at this point. Also, those were adults and those were children. See, what those adults understood is that these children are immature. They don't understand how to control their emotions, so they're going to say the most insightful things to get them to react, and then blame them for reacting to the thing that was said to them, because they know these are immature children who, I don't know their background, but hopefully they have great parents who can explain that to them and can rear them and send them in the right direction. But
Right.
when you understand that there's always going to be an agitation in the world,
Yeah.
that's not your responsibility. It's how you handle that moment. It's not you. I'm not responsible for you, and the cops aren't responsible to give my kids a pep talk.
Right.
They're just responsible to keep everybody safe and keep the peace, right? That's your job in this moment, right? Hopefully you can go home and somebody can have that conversation with you about life and the world and idiots and people you may encounter, and that's fine. But it's not the cops' responsibility. These are just a bunch of grown men who are using manipulation tactics to get children to react. So then they can say, look at these animals. They're reacting because it's like somebody needling you, right? They're needling you, but nobody else sees that you're being needled. You react to being needled, and now you look like the crazy one.
Yeah.
Because
There it is.
everybody's like, why this
So-
person on 10? They just walked in. What happened? No, I've been
Yeah.
needled for 5 months, and I'm at my wit's end at this point. But nobody saw that part. So it's that, so it's teaching people how to control themselves, how to control their emotions, life has gone life. That's it, period. That's all I got for you.
I agree. Josh, I want you to weigh in, man, and then we're going to move forward with this next video because the circumstances change.
Yeah, so I would say from an anarchist analysis of this, the real issue is that the left thinks that the white supremacists are going to take over, and the right thinks that the woke commies are coming. Right? They both have the same thing, and the idea of it is that the state is there. Right? One party's going to win over the other. I think racism doesn't have fangs unless we have classism. So So I think the state perpetuates classism, and that's why I'm anti-state. Not to go too far down this rabbit hole. Other than that, I would say I think the cops did a good job, because as like agents of the state, they're supposed to be neutral. Like, but I agree with the kids. Like, they kind of have to guide the kids because they're in the position of being a child, and just ignore them because they do have freedom of speech. Now, if some of them gave them a backhanded comment or two, from my classically liberal background, it wouldn't bother me any. So
okay, respect. Okay, so my last, I'm gonna give a opinion real quick about the whole thing, and then we're gonna move forward. I got another clip, and this has got it's different but the same, and we're gonna talk about it. And it's actually right out here in Chicago. So, my opinion, war, whites against replacement, are a bunch of small-minded, backwood, probably inbreds that they got a brain problem. They talk about how much somebody's brain weight, which means you're following stuff from like the 1800s, which means that you're not that intelligent in the first place, and then you're arguing with children and trying to make them feel small just because your penis is so I got
Oh
that.
Lord.
I got that for them for that one. The kids, I hope that they got parents that can rectify the fact that their kids was out there in the first place and cussing these dudes out, even though they were saying some crazy stuff. These kids was unhinged, and if my kids talk like that, they would have got that ass whooped. So yeah, there's that. So I hope that the kids get it together and become productive members in society, and they shouldn't have had to experience that. Had they been in another part of town, like at a playground and not panhandling, I don't think they would have had to experience that. So we're gonna move forward. I got this next clip. Let's check this out.
I don't like crime. At this point, I'm in the case. Oh no, on that. We still call him. So the white guy got the fish that. What's up with that? This shit crazy, man. I don't like crime. What is like to you? Fucking shit. Nobody, man. What did you say? Please tell me you got that on video. Did you say? Yeah, he's dropping M-bombs like he's. If I pop the shit out of him, I'll be voting. He gonna end up getting beat up by everybody around this bitch.
Okay, before we keep going with this video,
before we
keep going with this video, though, I want to because we're gonna finish it. Not right now. I want to know what everybody thinks about this video, but we got to keep it short, okay? Because we're rearing here. We got about 20 minutes left in the show, so keep it short and to the point. What did that make you think about?
I got a quick banger.
Go for it.
The white man said Nigger, nigger, to another white man.
No. He's Hispanic.
Oh, okay. Regardless, he said it to another person that's not black. And the black man responded emotionally saying something along the lines of, I'll pop him, right?
Mm-hmm.
What that makes me think is, do you think that word is somehow exclusively applied to black people only? Why are you trying to make yourself the recipient of a word that you seem to have so much animosity towards?
Yep.
Okay, good point, right? I'm glad that you gave that point. Who else wants to go?
We're gonna say the same thing, so I can't go.
Yep.
Okay.
Same thing.
Pretty much that's what I got too.
Same
thing.
Justin, you got anything?
I just think it was just too
much. Don't give it away, Justin, because you've seen the video, you've seen the full thing, so don't give it away. So how does that part right there make you feel? Just seeing that context right there of why this guy was, you know why he's agitated, but
exactly. So
okay,
yeah, I mean, they hit it right on the money.
Okay, Josh, what you think, my brother?
Yeah, so I'm looking at these videos on the screen, but it's like it's really small, so I'm having a hard time enlarging it. So there was a white guy that called a Spanish dude the N-word, and then
Two white
there was
guys,
an act.
two light-skinned Americans, two lighter-skinned Americans called a
Now,
darker light-skinned American a nigga.
Nope, I rebuke that. You can't use the word light skin, bro. I'm up here.
What you think, Josh?
No, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to see that video. You don't have to, obviously, for the show's sake, but I'm like I said, I didn't get to see it that well, so I feel like I'm missing.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna play the rest of this video in context. Okay, so that's the only part that you guys seen. Now, again, this is Chicago. Now you heard all of your guys' responses, right?
Yeah.
Now we're gonna find out why this man was triggered. Okay. Should he have shook his hand?
I don't see anything.
Oh, damn. Okay, damn. Hold on. I'm over here watching myself. Okay, hold on.
I was like, what did I miss?
Hold on. Here we go. I'm excited about this one. Here we go.
They should have got us that. Okay, ain't no shaking hands with that shit.
He wants to shake his hand. Should he have shook his hand?
I don't know. Like,
what?
Why not? He wasn't calling him this word. So like,
okay.
And are they like inebriated? I don't know. There might be alcohol.
Let's keep it going.
That ain't funny,
Oh, yeah,
bro.
shit, man.
Ain't you a police officer?
Not me, dude.
Yeah.
I ain't nobody, dude.
Nah.
Not at all.
We were the balls to see.
Right. I ain't shit, dude.
We'll see. We got your face.
Or nobody.
All right.
Damn, I don't know what's going on, folks. All these white people racist as hell. Talking about
Wait a minute.
This motherfucker right here saying behind us, like police and shit.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
The Chicago police lieutenant.
Hold on,
his
bro.
police powers.
Hey, Liddell, bro, don't get your black card revoked.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Let's just finish it out before y'all keep going. Just listen.
You better side.
Right?
Hey, Liddell, you better side with Foe and them.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Just hear him out.
Shocking confrontation caught on camera.
Our Tia Ewing spoke with the man who recorded it. Tia.
Well, Scott and Dawn, this officer was off duty when all of this unfolded. I did speak to the man who recorded the video. He doesn't want his entire name out there in fear of retaliation, but we did do some digging and we found out this isn't the first time this officer has been accused of wrongdoing. A racial slur hurled during a heated argument Friday, July 12th. The man in the blue used the N-word. He got into another altercation with someone else on the same night on this downtown Chicago rooftop. This time, the person he was arguing with identified him as a police officer. Behind the cell phone video recording is Raheem. He confronted the man on the spot.
That ain't funny, bro. Ain't you a police officer?
Not me, dude.
Yeah.
Days later, Raheem posted the video on Instagram, garnering thousands of views and an investigation.
I ain't really know how to react because it's like I know they the police and he not talking to me, but it's still affecting me. So it had me feeling like in a weird position. It's like I'm upset and I ain't know how to like direct my anger.
The Civilian Office of Police Accountability is investigating the incident and Lieutenant Andrew DeCurris. He's a 29-year veteran on the force.
They need to actually pay attention to the complaints made, pay attention to the officers they have. Because these are people that's arresting our communities.
It's not the first time DeCurris has been in the headlines. This is from our website in 2021, stemming from a federal jury finding that DeCurris used excessive force when a man was tackled and beaten during Cubs World Series celebrations in 2016. The man was awarded more than $50,000. At that time, DeCurris had 73 complaints against him.
Okay.
That's it right
so
there.
check this out.
Right.
This cop, the
That's it
backstory
right there.
here's the backstory. This cop was a police officer in his community. They already know this dude. Okay. And to hear him say that, now you being you in your community, you like, okay, I know this is Lieutenant so-and-so, and he always is in the community. He arrested Pookie last week or however it go. Why did he arrest him? Because he's racist. You see how that can be put into his head? 73 complaints. It comes out 73 complaints against him at the time where he beat up a Chicago Cubs fan. And the dude won the lawsuit, $53,000. 73 complaints. So, how do you feel now?
I still feel the same. Although I think it's crappy for a police officer to be doing that. I equally think it is. I won't say. I'm just gonna shoot it straight from the hip. Look,
go for it.
That was some weak shit. He didn't call you the N-word, but he called somebody else the N-word, and you felt some sort of way. So now you want to post the video. Look, post the video, right? He said it. He said it publicly. He's an official of the state. You get held accountable for that. But this, come on, man.
But hold on, Suni. Now, like I say, context matters. This is a cop from his community that he's seen probably arrest people, harass people, make whatever.
That's
and you hear him say that, so it comes into your mind like, yo, this nigga, he racist as hell.
That's conjecture.
I don't disagree that could be someone's thought pattern, but I would look 73 complaints. We can talk about the 73 complaints, right? What are they, and what are they tied to? But does that mean that this guy's racist? No. He didn't call a black person this word. He called someone who was of another ethnicity, which wasn't black, this word. And I honestly think he would have called somebody who he perceived as white trash this word.
So do you think that? So you don't think that was racist?
Me personally, no. I don't.
Okay, cool.
Oh, wait. This is why definitions matter. When you look up the definition of a racist, it is someone that thinks that their race is superior to another race. Simple.
No. We not. I know what you about to say about the definition, but we're talking about why racism still exists and how does it keep being perpetuated. Yeah, so you don't think that this actually adds to racism still going on?
That's a different question, Cash. Right?
Well, that's the topic.
Let's be very clear. Words matter. Words have definitions. The left are the same people that saying that a man can be a woman and a woman can be a man because gender is fluid and these things are social constructs. Racism, if you listen to people on the left, they say black people can't be racist because racism is prejudice plus power. That's not the definition of racism. A white man calling a Hispanic man nigger is not derogatory or directed at black people.
Say it on the damn show. Damn, Deontay.
I didn't know that. I didn't
you went the hard ER too. You couldn't even make it nice for me, man. Come on.
Look, hey, YouTube, my bad. I don't
educational purposes only.
I don't agree with that word. What I'm saying is, back to my initial point, if the black man wasn't called the word, how could he fix his lips to say that he's being affected by the use of a word that wasn't directed towards him?
True enough. I agree. I feel
that's mind-boggling, bro. Especially if you think that word has been derogatorily directed towards our racial demographic, when it's not directed towards you. Why are you trying to run it?
Okay, I got you. So let me ask you, just for clarity for the audience. So you don't think that this? I'm asking this question. Do you think that this helps keep racism alive in America? Situations like this?
No.
Okay, Justin, how you feel?
Well, for one, I've been in a type of situation kind of like this. I was hemmed up. Honestly, him being a cop, the fact the 73 complaints, why was he even there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Why was he even a cop?
He's off duty. He's hanging out, having a good time.
It don't matter. Why was he still a cop? Why were those thoroughly investigated?
But is that racism though?
Hold on, Deontay.
In my eyes, no. I think he, like she said, he would have did it to anybody. It wouldn't matter who it would have been. You know what I mean? He's just an unhinged person in my eyes.
Okay, respect. Jess.
Do I think it was racist?
Like, do you think that it helps keep racism alive in the country?
I mean, I think him saying it was just purely ignorant. I think of anything, the video was more for like clickbaits, but at the end of the day, it keeps the police accountable. Whether you are on duty or off duty, you still need to uphold yourself as an officer. And I know that because I went through a whole thing with someone who was an officer, so I kind of learned a lot about that in the background. You still need to uphold yourself as you're an officer on and off duty, and behaving that way is still a reflection of your department. So you need to, you know, why are you out there starting problems? You're a whole officer. The
Okay.
whole argument, the whole competition, the whole calling somebody out of their name is not the way that an officer of the law should be conducting himself. Because at the end of the day, if that was in reverse and that was other people arguing and doing that type of stuff, he could then arrest whoever he wanted to in that vicinity because he's an officer of the law, whether he's on or off duty. So you need to
Respect.
uphold yourself the same exact way.
Respect. Liddell, what you think?
No, I don't think it was racist because it wasn't directed toward an African American individual.
No, do you think that it helps propagate racism still in this country?
It depends on the perspective of the person. So in that example, it did because he manufactured a racial event based on a false premise.
Okay.
So racism can be furthered even on basis that are based on non-facts. So again, I have to lean back on who's the wise person in the room.
There you go. I agree.
Who's the wise person in the room?
Can we circle back real fast?
Yeah, go ahead, real quick.
Actually, you know what? To what you said as far as furthering racism in America, absolutely it could. And here's why I say
Why'd you
that.
change your opinion?
Well, here's why. Because just like she said, clickbait. You know, they put this type of propaganda on there, and then you see the young black guy, that recorded it, Raheem. He was affected by it. So it's systematically they consistently, throw that shit in front of us, and
So you
what I'm
changed your
saying?
perspective right now, is what you just did. You changed your perspective because now
Yep.
you're seeing it as the video and not the
Yep.
situation. You're
Yep.
saying that, okay, cool. AJ, does this help propagate racism in America and keep it alive?
I don't think it does that. I do think he's ignorant as hell. I do believe in match energy. Also, you gave them the bait. You gave them the information so they can go make it racist. So that's on you, dummy. Instead in the video using the N-word, knowing damn well optically how that looks. We're in 2024 America. You can't just be rolling up on the set doing that and then try to play victim on the back end. So yeah, your dumbass stood there in the camera, said the N-word. When he tried to call you out, I already knew about it. We got your 4K. Do this shit. So it is what it is. So you are the source of the problem. Therefore, you can't complain when someone goes online and says it's racist and they felt the ways about it. They felt the ways about it. That is their prerogative. You're a dumbass who gave them the information. You gave them the bait. So it is what it is.
Respect. Josh, does this video, the whole situation, does it help promote racism or keep it alive in this country?
Yeah, so I think the critical social justice crowd, the more woke left, their opinions pushed through with the algorithms on social media and also by the corporate media creates the illusion that we are still in a systematically racist society in a way that, again, the woke left think it is. So it does in that sense, and they love that division shit. That's my belief, right? The uniparty, they want to divide us, and the as Yuri Bezmenov calls the useful idiots, just push that shit, and then they fight about it, and the algorithm's like, yes, please fight, and it gets more interaction and all the rest of it. So yes, it does from that aspect, but from critical thinking people like on this show, we're able to think about it from many different viewpoints, and so are a lot of people. But unfortunately, the internet, social media, and the deep conditioning of certain people that are more of the communist left persuasion, what I call woke tards, are just like, they're just they're just blowing it up heavy.
Okay, respect. My opinion about it, I agree with everybody's opinion, and here's the reason why, right? So when I watched this video initially, I didn't think the cop racist. I just thought of it as a good experiment to bring on the show to see what people thought before they seen the whole thing, right? What I saw was a cop that was drinking on his day off, probably an asshole for sure. That's guaranteed. That got mad and used the word to try to piss somebody off. That's how I looked at it, because I, like you say, we're critical thinkers. You know, I didn't think of it as a racist thing. The reason I asked about it propagating racism in this country, and I forget who said it, but it comes down to perspective. Like you said, it comes down from the person that's watching the video, because if the person that's watching the video already inside their mind is ingrained to think racist white cops bad, then automatically you're going to say, yo, this is racist. Look at these cops always doing this and that. And then we made the assumptions. And a lot of people that watch this video actually made the assumptions of thinking about what are the 73 complaints. And because we heard him say that word, automatically we think them 73 complaints had to do with black people. What if they didn't? What if they didn't? So all of these things, it comes into just a pure perspective and how your mind is conditioned. Instead of just seeing it as, okay, this guy's an asshole, he's on his day off, he's obviously drinking, he's pissed, and he called somebody out their name. Obviously it was wrong for him to do, but hey, he did it. And somebody got hella feedback. I don't know who it is. But no, I don't think that he is a racist. I think that if the person watching the video has an eye for racism, then off back, they're going to see racism and they're going to find it, right? But if a person is educated enough to understand that sometimes people say shit to piss you off because they're angry. And what makes me think that he's not a racist is the fact that he came up to the dudes because he noticed that there was black people there, and there probably isn't a lot of black people that go downtown to that specific location. He probably didn't even see him over there, is what I'm thinking, because he walked over there to them to try to shake their hand. Or maybe the devil's advocate, maybe he's like, oh shit, they were recording me. Oh, I gotta go and try to fix this. Either way, he tried to shake their hand. A racist who's really racist ain't gonna try to shake no black man's hand, period. So I'll leave that right there. So we got 3 minutes left. I want people's final thoughts. How can we overcome? And this is, I want y'all to keep it as short as you could, right? And we're going to start at the bottom this time. How can we overcome the racist rhetoric that gets pumped into our heads of why people even see racism in the first place? Why did that person in the last video, why were they so quick to call these kids the N-word and to call them monkeys? And how can we overcome that and change the next generation who's experiencing that? In the 21st century, in 2024, there's kids experiencing grown men calling them niggas. And how do we get past this? How do we fix the situation? Josh, you go first.
I honestly think racism is natural to people. So what I mean by that is, 96% of our human history, we lived in small tribes. And a lot of them looked at other tribes like, who the hell are you? And, they get into the skirmishes and tribal warfare and all of that. And that's kind of what I consider natural. Like, you have the in group and the out group. So to me, racism is kind of natural to humans in a certain way, although it can be ugly, an ugly side of our humanity. Now, when you bring in classism, like I said earlier, when you live in a society where you own people, or you just have people without influence and power and say in the society and the decisions of that society, you are creating a racism that is so damaging and lasting. And it comes, for me, from that classism. So I don't really want to get rid of, I think you become a totalitarian country when you try to reform human nature. And I'd rather stay away from that. I think that's what the communists want to do. I think that's what we've done. Native Americans, obviously, we've had people as slaves, and I know that's all over the world. But it's just, I honestly, I don't think you get rid of the nastiness that is racism. I think we need to tackle classism.
Okay, AJ.
You can't legislate racism. There's no way to tell somebody how to think, how to feel, how to believe. So you go think, feel, and believe, and I'll think, feel, and believe over here. And I'm not responsible for your actions. I'm responsible for mine. And I honestly don't care, to be honest. Like, the understanding of knowing that I'm going to meet people like that journey, it is what it is. In that moment, as long as you don't put your hands on me, we good. You can say pop off. And depending on what I'm feeling that day, because I'm moody, I might match energy, or I might completely ignore you because I got
That
a whole
part.
bunch of racial. I love my racial epithets. I'll use them right back at you. So I
All
don't care
right,
who you are.
for sure. Liddell, how you feel, man? What you thinking?
I think, man, that society is crying out for wisdom, man. And so many people are in love with their own opinion. All you get is a bunch of opinions that make no damn sense. Until people stand up and begin to teach wisdom, this will continue to be a problem and it will get worse because the more decline of society is getting worse. So I expect for events that we just saw to happen more often, unfortunately.
Okay, Justin.
Man, if society produced more positive vibes and more positive rhetoric and stop with so much hate and I think that's more along the line of issue. Like people are taught to hate, and then once they're taught to hate, there's no limit to it. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like if there was more positive people and whatnot, it'd be a lot better for us. I'll tell you that.
Okay, Deontay, how you feel, brother?
Once again, man, thank you for letting me come up. I appreciate it. Yeah, I look forward to future discussions. I don't think it was racism. I would be interested in knowing what the 73 offenses were, but if asked whether he should be fired or not, strictly on that statement, my answer would be no. Um, and that's because I believe in freedom of speech. I'm almost somewhat of a free speech absolutist, but maybe maybe I'm willing to receive pushback on that. Lastly, I'll say this: I think classism is a natural occurrence because people are not equal. People do not have an equal level of productivity, and therefore people should not achieve equal results. But people should have equal opportunity. I do agree with Josh that the state is what exacerbates the disparities between people, and I think limited government places the onus on people to define their lot in life. But yeah, other than that, I don't think racism is solvable. I don't think anybody should be trying to legislate slavery. I mean, racism or uh, uh, anything like that.
Okay. Go ahead, Jess. What you think? How do we end racism? Can we end racism?
Man, if this was the Democrat me years ago in the Obama term, I would have just been like, then we just stop talking about it. But that's not gonna happen. You know, you can't control people, and the First Amendment is the First Amendment, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't come with consequences, and it surely does. Your free speech 100% comes with consequences, and you know, at the end of the day, you cannot control the way people are going to behave or the things that they're going to say. The only thing that you can do is control the way that you behave and how you react. So I think moving forward is just not give it any energy, and then hopefully eventually it just dies out.
All right. Miss Suni, the middle child. What you think? Can we end racism? Should we end racism? What do you think? How do we get above it?
No, I don't think racism is going anywhere, and I don't think it should be ended because it tells you a lot about a person. I would rather know who you are than not know who you are. If you think I'm this as a person, okay, I need to know that. That way we don't interact and I can stay over here and you can stay over there. I think we have to lose the sensationalism and emotions behind this topic because it's what's keeping this country in a chokehold. It's what's determining elections. It's what made millions of people go out and vote against Trump both times because what did we sit and watch on the media 24/7? Racism, racism, racism. So because I know it's not going anywhere, I think it's a tool that we should utilize to our own benefit instead of all these emotions behind it. Let's use it.
I agree. Well, I'm gonna weigh in real quick and then we're gonna end this show. All right. But before we end the show, I'm gonna let everybody give their handles. But this is what I want to say. To everybody watching. These videos, obviously, they touch certain nerves. Certain people are going to see this and hear the opinions of all of us, and they're going to make certain opinions about us based off of our opinions. Can we end racism? Should we end racism? And all these things? I would say it doesn't matter, and don't plan on racism going anywhere anytime soon. because it is human nature, as Deontay said. This is just the way things are, right? That doesn't mean that you have to be. So the only reason that a person becomes a racist is because they limit their thinking. And in the words of Liddell, they don't use wisdom. There's always going to be somebody that's got a negative opinion. There's always going to be people that have stereotypes. We all do. We all do. But as we grow in knowledge, as we get to know more of the world, get to see more of its people and interact with each other, that's what breaks the chains in those minds. Once you could break the limited thinking that you have, you'll rise above and somebody else's racism won't affect you, you know, to the point where you'll react. Not to say it won't get something stirred inside of you, but you won't react the way that they're anticipating to get you to react. All right. So further your education, get to know people, don't prejudge people. And, you know, when somebody's just bathed in ignorance inside of their mind, let them have that. Them are not the type of people that we associate with. You keep your circle full of good people, and I guarantee you, you will not have any racism around you because you'll be around people that have the same ideals as you. And don't discount those who do, like the men that you've seen in the video. Yeah, I made a little joke and talked about them or whatever, but I don't wish no evil on them brothers. I don't wish no evil on the police officer. I don't wish no evil on none of the brothers because, again, you got to understand people have a certain way of thinking, and I don't know what conditioned their mind to be the way that it is. All right. So the only thing that I could do is surround myself with like-minded individuals who can have a difference of opinion or have a different view and still be able to say, you know what? Hey, man, I hope you have a good day. At the end of the day, God bless. That's my advice to everybody that's watching this right now. Don't be offended. We got to unite. All right. And the only way that we can unite is to not be divided. And the only way we can be divided is inside of our minds. All right. So help us break these barriers. The question, I answered the question. We can't end racism, and we shouldn't end racism because then that's limiting our free speech. It's limiting our country's, what makes our country. It's taken away from that. So we don't need no laws for any of that. Only thing we need is for people to become more educated and stick around people like themselves. Like I said, with that, everybody, I want you all to go ahead and give the everybody out there your handles. Let them know where they can find you at. And I want to know from each person, after you give your handle, are you coming back to co-host Suni? You can't say no, so it's already a yes for you. You're here every Sunday. Suni's going to be here with me because she helped start this show. So go ahead, Suni. Where can they follow you at?
You can follow me on Instagram, literally not Suni Blanks. And you can follow me on Twitter, definitely not Suni Blanks. And then you can follow me on YouTube, or somewhere in the middle, USA, all one word.
All right. Jess, where can they follow you at?
You can find me on Facebook, Jess Marie. All the other ones are just something different. So I'll drop the links in the chat so people can follow. But, you know, I'll be here every Sunday.
Bet. Deontay.
You can follow me on Instagram at dblade4. You can follow me on TikTok at dblade4. You can find me on YouTube as Deontay Blade Ford. Everything is dblade 4. You search dblade 4, you're gonna find me.
Justin.
Facebook.
You know, hey, just so everybody knows, real quick, before we go, I want everybody to know this. Justin is a hood nigga. I'm gonna go ahead and say it for everybody so y'all can know Justin is a hood nigga. I'm just gonna say that. You can follow Justin on Facebook, Justin Ward or J-Man. All right, Liddell, where can they follow you at?
All things at Liddell Bugs, my first and last name, easy to find me. Real simple.
All right, AJ.
AJ's Rent Room, TikTok, YouTube, X.
Tell them about your show and when it airs, bro, so they can check it out. I've been sharing it.
Oh, the Trifecta Hour, also on YouTube. You can follow that as well. Every Friday, live here, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live. No CP time. We start on time here.
Josh, where can they find you at, man?
Damn.
Yeah, I wanted to say thanks, Cash, for having me on. Thanks, Jess Marie, for getting me on here, too. Everyone else on the show, really enjoyed it. So you can find me at Joshua Joseph, and the Joshua is spelled Joshua. So there's an H at the end of the name. You can find me TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
All right. All right. There it is, everybody. I appreciate all of you all showing up. I really do. And Deontay, are you going to be with us every Sunday, bro?
I don't know if God gonna give me
bro.
that, man.
Commit, bro.
Hey, listen. If I'm alive and I'm well, I will make my best effort to attend. You will definitely see me again, God.
All right, bet. AJ, I know you got a lot going on, bro. AJ, just say yes. Just go like this. Just go like this, AJ. Yeah. No?
I don't even think he can hear us.
It's all good. All right. I hope everybody out there watching has a fantastic day. If you didn't already, please go follow all of these people. Like this video for me one time and share it out, because here we are breaking the barriers. We're going to discuss a lot of tough topics. All right. And you can't get mad at people's opinions. That's the whole thing. Attack the issues, not each other. Thank you guys for tuning in with us for this first relaunch episode of Breaking the Barriers. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.